We are the owner-operator of a group of hotels in Costa Rica, and we are proud members of the Long Run since a while, actually a long while, and happy to be a positive, constructive member in this very cool, impactful global group of people, of founders, of pioneers, visionaries, and people that think alike in many ways. I'm going to tell you a few stories about two of our lodges in Costa Rica. And the first one is actually a story about business. The company changed management at the end of last year. And so one of the important things that we have focused on this year as a group is one of the key pillars under the commerce C of our framework, which is responsible business practices. I think that one of in the country in general and in the globe is remaining to be a sound, very well managed company, right? Because as we continue to do that, the places that we take care of course, the experiences of the guests, the employees, and everything really falls down under that principle, right? Managing the company well and ensuring that for the long term, the company will continue to operate, continue to grow, and continue to provide various positive experiences, of course, for guests in our hotels, but also, again, all the other constituents, stakeholders in our company. Take it, unfortunately, the one time I tried to use a drone to take such a picture, it died because this is a very strong river. It's called the Pacuare River in the middle of the Atlantic coast of Costa Rica. The cool thing about this property, this hotel, is that there's no road. So this is not just a cool aerial picture of the river and some of our rooms, but there is no actual physical road to get there. You can raft in and raft out. It's one of the best rivers in the world to do whitewater rafting. And then, yes, there is a small road that we use to bring in our guests that have that want to enter the hotel in a more traditional way, and also to bring in the supply. Also, construction materials, furniture, things that we need to use in the hotel are also brought in that way. This year, we have been mostly focused on the main local and regional environmental and community certifications. I won't bore you with the details of the acronyms and the names, but basically, we, as a very prominent member of the travel community, hospitality community in Costa Rica and Latin America, we have been very active in some of the local and regional certifications. And so the sustainability and broader team of the company has been focused on renewing the certifications this year. One of the most important ones in this whole side of the world is a certification by the Costa Rican Tourism Board, ICT, and we achieved an elite level, which is the highest one for a property. And the framework that we use, which is our core of the Long Run Foundation and the 4Cs, allows us to continue to collect information, not only for the work that we need foundation impact, but also this data is also useful and helpful for these local and regional certifications. First one, the important local one in Costa Rica, ICT, Costa Rica Tourism Board. Second one is a regional certification. Sorry that I bore you with the acronyms, but it's a Central American certification, similar to the one in Costa Rica that is called Distintivo Verde. It's basically, again, the highest level of environmental and community certification that you can get now in the broader region of Central America. I know this is a global meeting, so sometimes you're switching from one continent to the other. So Costa Rica is in the center of the south, and it's comprised by 6 small countries, and normally there are regional bodies of certification that allow us to see things through a different lens. And again, since we are such an important property, iconic property in this whole side of the world, Pacuare Lodge and the next one that I'm going to show you, it's very important that we continue to that we give the utmost importance to these certifications locally, regionally, because people look up to us as we continue to raise the bar in the certifications that we need to comply with, but also, again, providing ideas and innovating and participating in the local or regional bodies that make sure that these certifications continue. Now, to talk about some of the cool things that we do at the property itself. This property is is located within a indigenous territory, and by one this indigenous territory is part of the Cabécar community, one of the few indigenous communities that still exist in Costa Rica. So we do a few things with them that I'm gonna briefly touch upon. But the first project that we do within this territory, this indigenous territory, is a little bit of science, very cool animal, very nice looking, very iconic, but also our property and the broader indigenous territory happens to be a corridor for this feline, this mammal. So we have an active collaboration with a local university, a national university, Universidad Nacional in Spanish, where we have run for various years now a program where we host their scientists that continue to produce research papers published on peer-reviewed journals and various international publications, where we use the data that we are able to capture within our property and with the project that we provide financing to, which is basically besides hosting the scientists and doing a lot of operational things so that they can do their work, we also have installed a couple of dozen cameras, actually more exactly 12 cameras within the property, where there have been in the last year at least 7,000 recorded sightings of at least 19 species of animals and 19 birds. These are very important, again, real-time data when it's possible. We recently put a big, nice Starlink antenna. In the past, it was not possible, but the rest of the information is recorded and then is processed for various things. Now, these recordings are published on our YouTube channel, it's kind of a way to do open source science. We just publish the raw material and people can do whatever they want with those videos. And then, of course, the more scientific data points are processed and analyzed by the scientists of Universidad Nacional, which is part of a broader group of academic scientist members that study the jaguar and other similar species, such as the puma. I'm sure they have colleagues in Brazil, where they continue to do this work for the conservation of this very important species. So we are very blessed and happy to be able to support this cause because it's being such an important and iconic animal in almost one of the phases of conservation in the world is very relevant for us and for the continuation of our business efforts and community efforts in Pacuare Lodge to be able to support this, because I think it has certainly a broader impact beyond what we can do in our property. Lastly, to move to the other property, again, as positive, active members of the community, we have a new cooperation agreement with the Cabécar indigenous population in order to be able to be a much closer community member, so that we can join forces in not only providing resources and things that they need, but think about as neighbors, as members of the broader community that they control, are able to produce projects, programs, initiatives that will not necessarily be relevant for the hotel and the guests, but for the broader community that happens to be there in that area. Okay, moving on to Lapa Rios. Lapa Rios is in the South Pacific of Costa Rica, almost in the border with Panama. And that nice picture that you see there, it doesn't have a filter, as they say in the Instagram world. The very tip of the ocean, the last piece you see up left is Panama. So it's a very well-known area in that middle of the continent. We are neighbors of the Corcovado National Park, which is probably one of the most biodiverse places in the entire globe, because it's a relatively small little peninsula and a gulf, a bay, and it's mostly a national park. So it hosts a huge, incredible variety of animals, plant species, and others that are the reason why people visit this area, the Corcovado National Park. They come for the park, but they stay for other things that we have in the property, such as nice beaches where you can surf and other things. I want to touch upon what you can do with more than one property. So it's leveraging impact. The work that you heard me mention about the Jaguar program in Pacuare Lodge has a twin brother in Lapa Rios. So this is also a corridor and a home for the Jaguar. So we have a bigger number of cameras here, almost 30,000 recorded sightings, again, that are very relevant for science and monitoring and being a home for the scientific local and international community that wants to come study that particular species and others that are relevant for various aspects. We have active programs with the community, similar to other presentations you have heard today. When you operate the hotel in a remote location, you are, of course, a very prominent, active. You have to be a very active member of the community because you're providing jobs. You are a beacon of security, of safe. It's a safe space for community members. We provide funds for cool things like the Jaguar program, but also things that are not necessarily that visible for being an active voice with the local government. So they fix the roads. They work on different issues that are relevant for the community. Infrastructure is one. Education is another one. But the kind of the hard conversations, or not necessarily the best photographs or marketing materials, but the things you need to do to be a very good citizen and an active citizen in this kind of remote communities. This hotel is in a fairly new municipality. So Costa Rica used to have 83 municipalities, the small divisions of the continent, and because of various reasons, the community of Jimenez, where this hotel is located, is one of the new municipalities. And so it's basically a brand new government, a local government that initiates or has initiated recently in this part of Costa Rica. So we are also, again, attempting to collaborate in the most constructive and positive way we can, so that the community, our employees, our ongoing operation has the best balance that we can achieve, at least from our end. Okay, so that's a small summary and a couple of examples of the impact we're trying to do. We have an upcoming audit and visit by the broader Long Run Foundation team. We're excited about that. We are ready to double down this year. It's kind of a new chapter with this new management of the 4Cs framework, that for some of you that this is a new topic, or you're a new member, or this is the first time you appear on one of the broader events of the Long Run Foundation. Basically, we base a lot of our work in this framework, which is very important for the continued work that we do. And lastly, again, attempting to have a very positive continued business operation in these remote places where we operate, and in general in Costa Rica or the broader region. The framework is very important because we're able to measure things, you know. It's not showing nice pictures and providing money to communities. No, it's actually being able to measure what is this money, time, and effort we're putting into these programs, and in general, these communities, is resulting as an impact in the various ways that you can measure that. Number 2 out of 3, leveraging this impact, right? How can we leverage the impact that we start in one property, like we saw in our example? Now we do it in 2 properties, and we are in the process of recruiting other members to this Jaguar program that are not necessarily even associated with the hotel business or hospitality, but so that we can do that much better to then not do number 3, which is scaling impact. Imagine if we could build a network of the things that we started and we support in 1 hotel. Now we do it in 2, and now we found through the Long Foundation an international partner where we can teach them, or we can learn from what they're doing for the jaguar conservation. And that scale, or that impact at scale, is, I think, what attracts a lot of us to the work that is being led by all the members of the Long Run Foundation, because it's not just small things that we do at our properties. That's nice. We're going to continue to do that with all of our heart and effort and funds. But if we can find allies and align with others that are doing similar work and teach them or learn from them, then that's really amazing to be able to see impact at scale, at a global scale, which is quite remarkable.